Anna, a 10-year-old girl, suddenly appeared to be pregnant. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't fit into her largest pants. Her mother, Christy, was surprised, but she never imagined it was a pregnancy. Christy reassured Anna, saying it was probably just indigestion and that medicine would fix it. But later that night, Anna began vomiting in the bathroom, just like morning sickness. A panicked Christy gently rubbed her back. Her father, Kevin, quickly brought a towel, and they decided to take Anna to the hospital immediately. But the wait only made things worse. Anna's stomach swelled even more, and she soon lost consciousness in the back seat. At the hospital, the doctors conducted a comprehensive examination, but the results shocked everyone. All the tests seemed normal and showed nothing abnormal. Christy panicked, explaining that Anna had been in constant pain, vomiting for weeks, and her stomach was severely bloated. "How is this normal?" she asked. The doctor calmly explained that lactose intolerance might be the cause of the indigestion. That's why her stomach had suddenly swollen. Christy felt even more confused, but at least there was an answer. Finally, she and Kevin relaxed a little. But that very same night, Christy was abruptly awakened by Anna's screams and cries.
Oh no!
She rushed to Anna's room to find her clutching her stomach, writhing in pain, profusely sweating, and terrified. The parents realized they couldn't wait another minute. They immediately got in the car and drove Anna directly to the largest hospital in the city. When they finally reached the emergency room, a young doctor shrugged his shoulders and said Anna's symptoms were just normal acid reflux after eating.
Mom, Dad, you can relax, she's fine. You're good to take her home.
He advised them to take more walks after meals, then turned and started to leave. The couple chased him into the hallway, begging the doctor to examine Anna again. But the doctor lost his patience and said, "If you don't trust me, go to another hospital. Don't waste our time here."
So, if you'll excuse me, I have the patients I need to see.
This time, Christy completely lost her composure. She grabbed the doctor, her eyes streaming tears like a lioness protecting her cub, and told him how angry and scared she was. Seeing their insistence, the doctor finally agreed to take another look and reluctantly walked away. The couple waited anxiously all night. Finally, at dawn, Dr. Borg, the head of pediatrics, entered and gave them the results. But the first words he uttered stunned them. Anna had a bowel obstruction, meaning her intestines were twisted and blocked.
I'm sorry to tell you abdominal obstruction.
If she didn't have surgery immediately, her life would be in danger. Before they could even respond, 2 nurses entered and began preparing Anna for surgery. One nurse held up a tube and told Kevin they would insert it through Anna's nose, and he needed to help hold her still. Even though they thought they were prepared, the next moments were much harder than they had imagined.
There you go.
The ordeal continued until Anna was finally wheeled into the operating room on a gurney. Her parents felt numb, terrified that something serious might happen during the surgery. Fortunately, the operation was quick, but to their surprise, Anna's condition did not improve. It had actually worsened. It turned out that during the surgery, Dr. Borg discovered a serious problem. Her intestines were completely unable to pass food. Her body couldn't digest anything. And the worst part? There was no real cure for this disease. Anna could only survive by receiving nutrition through a tube in her nose. Hearing this, Christy closed her eyes in pain, not daring to think about her daughter's future. She didn't even wait for the doctor to finish speaking. She stood up, dazed, and walked out alone. Life was cruel, but whether they accepted it or not, it went on. From then on, Anna could only get nourishment through a feeding tube. Apart from a handful of colored pills, she couldn't eat anything else. Christy tried to remain optimistic, but every time she saw the pain on Anna's face, it felt like a needle piercing her heart. Even though the doctor said there was no cure for Anna, her parents couldn't just stand by and watch their daughter suffer. Christy began calling every children's hospital she could find, while Kevin mortgaged their family farm and sold most of their possessions just to pay for Anna's treatment. But after months of trying, all those calls disappeared into thin air. No one called back. Even Christy, who had always been so optimistic, finally began to lose hope. She collapsed at the door, muttering to herself, thinking that Anna's fate was sealed. No matter how hard they tried, nothing would change. But just as Christy was about to give up, she caught the disappointed eyes of her other daughter, Abby. That look reminded Christy, if parents give up so easily, how can their children learn courage in their own lives? With that thought, Christy stopped hesitating. The next morning, she took Anna and boarded a plane to Boston. There was a famous pediatrician there. They had never been able to get an appointment before. But this time, Christy decided to go in person. She wouldn't give up without a fight. But when the hospital staff saw this unexpected mother and daughter, and despite feeling sorry for them, they had to follow the rules. If they wanted to see the doctor, they had to make an appointment. The earliest available slot was in at least 6 months.
I'm so sorry. Come on.
Christy was prepared for this. She took a deep breath, held back her tears, and quietly left the hospital with Anna. But just as they were about to head home, Christy received a sudden call from the hospital. They asked her to bring Anna for an examination at 7 a.m. the next day.
We just got an opening at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Can you make it?
No one knew why the hospital had suddenly changed its mind, but Christy was overjoyed. She couldn't stop smiling. The next morning, they finally met the country's best pediatrician, Dr. Nurko. He said he couldn't completely cure Anna's disease,
Mrs. Beam, I didn't take her medical history.
but he could give her a special medicine to help her digest food so she would no longer need the feeding tube and could live a normal life. Hearing this, Christy breathed a huge sigh of relief. Dr. Nurko's confident look gave her back a hope she hadn't felt in a long time. But suddenly, the doctor changed his tone. He said the treatment was only a temporary solution, and its side effects were still unknown. Anna needed to return to the hospital for 2 days every week for monitoring. Christy fell silent. The hospital in Boston was about 2,000 miles from their home. Even without counting the cost of treatment, the weekly plane tickets alone were a huge burden. But for her daughter, she stated firmly and agreed. She was willing to undergo it. Anna soon began the first phase of treatment. Her stomach was still bloated, but without the feeding tube, her smile finally returned. However, as the treatment continued, the side effects were harsher than the doctor had anticipated. Every night, Anna suffered unbearable pain in her stomach. Nothing could stop it. Not medicine, not a healthy posture, not rest.
I just want it to be over.
Day and night, the pain tormented Anna's small body and slowly crushed Christy's heart.
You want to be with me and Daddy anymore, and you want to...
In the end, Anna gave up. She stopped eating, refused to bathe, and rejected any treatment. Christy felt frustrated, but at that moment, she also had no strength left. The long treatments and mounting costs had drained all her energy. She sat helplessly by the window, picked up her phone, and called home. She cried as she spoke, telling her husband, "It's over." Let's take her home. On the day Anna was discharged from the hospital, Dr. Nurko personally accompanied them to the door.
So tired. Pastor, I'm so tired.
He felt a deep sadness, realizing he couldn't save this poor little girl. He forced a smile, trying to hide his sorrow. As Anna walked away, Dr. Nurko stood motionless at the entrance and let out a quiet sigh. But as painful as things were, fate hadn't finished with this child. After returning home, Anna fell into severe depression. She sat silently by the door every day, waiting for death. To encourage her, her sister Abby took her to the backyard. She suggested they climb the big tree like they used to when they were little. At first, Anna wanted to refuse, but Abby gently encouraged her. Finally, Anna reached out her hand, and soon they were climbing the tree again. The two sisters sat in the tree, looking at the beautiful scenery in the distance, happily chatting about their childhood memories. Anna finally smiled, a genuine smile she hadn't shown in a long time. But at that moment, a thick branch beneath them suddenly bent and cracked with a loud sound. The noise terrified them. Abby quickly told Anna to climb first towards the middle of the tree for safety. But in the next moment, the unbelievable happened.
Mom!
Kevin heard Abby's screams and rushed over with a ladder. He leaned it against the tree and looked into its hollow trunk. But the tree was too deep, completely dark inside. He couldn't see anything at all, feeling terrified and helpless. He called for emergency services. After 10 minutes, firefighters arrived at the scene and immediately began the rescue operation. But it turned out to be much more difficult than expected. The tree was very old, and they couldn't simply cut it down. That would put Anna at even greater risk. The only safe option was to use an aerial ladder and slowly lift her out from the top. As the firefighters did their best, the journalists who had arrived were not optimistic at all. The tree was over 30 feet tall, and Anna had fallen headfirst into the hole. Her chance of survival seemed almost zero. When someone mentioned that Anna might already be dead, Christy clutched her chest, her eyes wandering in shock. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. The fear of losing her daughter shattered the strong, optimistic woman she had always been. Christy cried uncontrollably, walked to the tree trunk, knelt, and pressed her forehead against it. She begged the heavens for mercy to save her poor daughter. Everyone nearby was moved. People came forward one after another, gathering around Christy to pray for Anna with all their hearts. They hoped, just maybe, a miracle would happen. After 3 long hours, Anna was finally pulled from the tree. As her limp body was gently lowered to the ground, she looked like a lifeless rag doll. Kevin and Christy's hearts trembled with fear, terrified that what awaited them was only a cold, lifeless body. Just as they were losing hope, a miracle occurred.
She's breathing.
When Christy discovered her daughter was still alive, her knees gave way and she almost collapsed. But the real shock was yet to come. After a thorough examination, the doctors were stunned. Anna had fallen from the tree from a height of nearly 9 meters, yet she had no head injury, not even a scratch. All she needed was a little glucose to boost her energy, and she could go home. Christy didn't understand. It didn't make sense. But the next morning, another miracle happened. She noticed that Anna's stomach had returned to normal, and Anna, with a broad smile, said she was looking forward to a barbecue. Christy didn't even have time to celebrate. She quickly took Anna back to Boston for a comprehensive checkup with Dr. Nurko. After reviewing the results, even Dr. Nurko was speechless. Overnight, Anna's body had completely healed. There was no scientific explanation. Back home, Anna's story spread widely. Everyone believed it was an act of God. The media flocked, and soon Anna's entire family was invited to speak at the church. But as Christy stood there looking at the hopeful faces, she didn't know what to say. Because she knew deep down that the miracle wasn't just about God showing up. It was about the kindness they had received throughout their journey. It was Anna's classmate who never treated her differently. It was the kind waitress who gave them discounts when they couldn't afford food. It was the airport ticket agent who pretended there was a system glitch so they could use expired vouchers to book flight tickets. It was the hospital receptionist who risked her job just to get Anna an earlier appointment. It was their neighbor who quietly hid her own child in the car so her crying wouldn't disturb Anna's rest. As Christy spoke, her eyes filled with tears. She wasn't sure if God existed, but she knew that kindness, courage, strength, and unconditional love, those are the most beautiful miracles in the world.